Hamas's biggest money man in Gaza, the 34-year-old Hamid Kudari, was also known in the region as Iran's frontman. Kudari routed all his shady dealings through his currency exchange offices in Gaza, which operated as regular money transfer exchanges for civilians as well. His chain of trusted Hawala agents, known as Hawaldars, were spread across Gaza, Iran, Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey, from where they shuttled tens of millions of dollars, some in pure cash and some in the form of goods. Part of the money collected was paid on behalf of Hamas to arms dealers, while the money that reached Hamas was spent on handouts to citizens for governing the people of Gaza, and crucially, for training and salaries of the 25,000 fighters of its military wing, the Al-Qassam Brigades. But one morning on May 5, 2023, as Kudari was driving down a street in central Gaza, a missile targeted his car, blowing it to bits. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, was quick to take credit.
"We have killed Kudari. Iran will have to find a new money man in Gaza."
Kudari's replacement was the Palestinian currency trader Zuhair Shamlach, the owner of Al Mutahadun Money Exchange. He changed strategy by asking for donations in Bitcoin on Al-Qassam's social media and communication channels. Cryptos, especially Bitcoins, were all the rage, with their prices shooting up from under $1,000 in 2017 to between $6,000 to $15,000 at the time he took over. Shamlach used his money exchange to create scores of anonymous digital wallet accounts on Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, through which he sent cryptos to a galaxy of Hamas-affiliated money exchange houses, allowing them to be converted to physical cash at his offices in Gaza. The process was far quicker and away from the prying eyes of Israeli forces who were busy looking the other way for physical cash. So successful was the operation that Shamlach began advertising this on his own Facebook page, helping Israel get a sniff of Hamas's brewing online crypto empire. And by 2020, they realized that the extent of Hamas's use of crypto was way more sophisticated than Israel had ever imagined. Because unlike Bitcoins and Ether, whose value keeps rising and falling frequently, Hamas's wallets used stablecoins that are pegged to the US dollar and whose supply is restricted, which, as the name suggests, were at one time highly stable digital coins and even used as payment for goods and services. These stablecoins were then moved onto mixer platforms that jumbled up coins received from different sources before reaching the recipient. So tracing of accounts becomes very difficult, and the actual senders and receivers remain anonymous. Though under pressure, Binance and the US-sanctioned Russian exchange Garantex later cooperated with Israeli officials, identifying at least 41 million worth of cryptos from various accounts related to Hamas. From mining and chicken farming in Sudan, Hamas over the years had also built a 700 million euro worth clandestine network of businesses to alleged real estate ventures in Algeria, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE that spewed money for the militant group. At first glance, none of these companies seemed related to each other. But Israel's terror finance investigative team, Task Force Harpoon, in 2018, managed to hack into a computer of a senior Hamas official and discovered accounts of various companies with coded ledger entries and large dollar figures beside each. Digging further, they saw that a handful of the same people acted as board members or shareholders in almost each of these firms, most of them based in Turkey, which is their financial headquarters, where several Hamas leaders have been living and collecting funds for Hamas, including Zahir Ali Musa Jabarin and recently assassinated Ismail Haniyeh. Some portions of the money they raise go into funding their luxurious lives of private jets and lavish parties. This isn't a surprise, as Turkey supports Hamas and considers it a liberation front. The Task Force Harpoon chief informed Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu several times to take action against Hamas's international assets. However, he not only turned a deaf ear to them, but surprisingly, the following year, dissolved the Harpoon Task Force itself, but also kept encouraging Qatar, from where money officially flows into Gaza, to continue sending millions of dollars. Projecting himself as a leader trying to bring stability to the region and elevate the status of the Palestinian people, the frustrated members of Harpoon Task Force uploaded their findings on Facebook, hoping to bring it to the attention of the wider community. And they did, when the Saudis noticed it a few months later. acting on it and arresting and interrogating Hamas's bookkeeper based in their country, Mahmoud Ghazal, and perhaps in the hope of proving to Trump that he was a reliable partner in the upcoming peace treaty with Israel, shared his damaging confession with them.
A portfolio of Turkish companies sends money to Hamas.
Simultaneously, the Israeli Harpoon team also forwarded their detailed findings to the U.S. in support of Saudi's evidence. But U.S. President Donald Trump also turned a deaf ear to them.
We are more focused on Israel's need to sanction Iran.
By the time the U.S. took action in 2022, the sanctioned companies had stripped their assets and siphoned off $75 million. With enough loopholes in the world's financial system, Hamas will continue to evolve its fundraising strategies as further restrictions are imposed.
You will also find these sources listed in our video description section.